some big names and some returning names as well for the USA. As you can see, they are on target number 1. Let's go to Mark, our stadium announcer, for the team introductions.
Shooting on target number 1, representing the United States of America, Jacob Wookie, Jack Williams, and Marie Ellison. And their opponents shooting on target number 2, representing Spain, Daniel Castro, Miguel Alvarillo Garcia, and Pablo Acha. The line judge for this matchup is Christina Knight.
Well, here we go. It's time for the USA versus Spain in the quarterfinals here in Paris at the last Olympic qualification competition for archery. A place at the Tokyo Olympic Games up for grabs. In fact, there are 3 places up for grabs for these teams. Nikki and I put our hats in the ring saying that USA and Spain are favourites to come through this qualification tournament. Well, one of them's not going to make it because only one team can go through to the semi-finals here. It's the USA against Spain. You have to fancy the USA against any team at the moment, apart from Spain, who are the form team in men's recurve. If ever you wanted a good start, you put Brady Ellison up first, don't you?
That is why he's leading this team out. It just calms the nerves. So it's straight in the gold. Off we go.
Yeah, certainly has calmed the nerves. That's 2 10s, and Jacob Wookie got a silver medal in the team in London 2012. Went on a bit of a vacation. Doesn't look like he's done him any harm, and in fact the youngest member of the team, Jack Williams, who's just 21, has put it into the 10 ring as well. What can we see from Spain here? They have been on cracking form this season.
Anything you can do, I can do too.
Alvarina Garcia went to the Rio 2016 Games. Daniel Castro has medalled this season on the Hyundai Archery World Cup circuit. So they've shed 2 points to the USA here in the first half. So Jack Williams to anchor things through. You heard Brady Ellison calling for a strong shot. That's drifted over into the 8, but it's still a 57. Now, the USA have put down a marker that is gettable by Mexico, but they can only afford to drop 1 point here to share the set. That is the single point they can drop on 37, so they can only match the USA now. Well, set points are going to the USA here, but this is still an important arrow, isn't it, Nikki?
Yeah, you know, it's important for you to get confidence from this, get into the next set, you bang on with your sight and the shot's feeling good, so still an important arrow.
So finishes in the 10 as well for a 56. Look, we talked about the quality of these two teams. They've come out, they're shooting amazingly. What a start to this quarterfinal, which, I mean, could grace any final, really.
Yeah, I mean, they're just two fabulous teams. Like I said, I think Spain made gold medal in Guatemala. They got the gold medal match in Lausanne, the second World Cup, and they got beaten by Germany, I believe, there. So they're a really cracking team on form. And, you know, it's so hard to make the Olympics. You know, we've got to stress that only 64 men are going to get to the Olympic Games. That's 12 teams. So these guys are really fighting it out. And there will be really good teams who don't make it. You know, it's that cutthroat.
Yeah. Tough to make the Olympic Games, and then you're straight into a knockout, so it's a critical situation for these teams right now. I mean, it's still hard to believe, as much as you talk about it being so tough to make it and some top teams not make it, it's almost inconceivable that one of these teams won't be at the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see them both there, I really would, but like I say, 12 teams in the world are going to go there. Each of these countries have got their own individual man, so they will have one competitor go in the male category, but who's going to take the team there?
I'm not going to take the bait there and open that can of worms, Nikki, because this weekend's action is complicated enough as it is. So we'll stick to what we're doing. But of course, what you've alluded to there is that the qualification stakes here are not just about teams. There is an individual qualifier as well on Monday here in Paris. And now back to the action in this men's team recurve quarterfinal. Spain trailing by 2 set points.
I think that could be an 8-7 liner.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's interesting, you know, in a stadium, you know, how the wind's going to impact these guys. We can see some feather flags down the left-hand side of the field and behind the targets. You can get a swell in wind. I just saw them changing their sights there, you know, wondering whether he felt that was a good shot. You know, let's make a movement. You know, they're communicating well between each other, and they've got to get themselves back in the middle.
Just drifted out into the 8 there. So 27 plays 26 at the halfway stage. USA just with the lead.
I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I can't see that there's that much wind in the stadium that would cause something like that. I wonder whether something's just going slightly wrong with technique. Perhaps release error can cause them to go left.
Yeah, Yeah, they both went left as well, didn't they? The first one not quite as far as that one, but it just shows you, I mean, just 3 team members here. If one isn't quite on form, it can make such a difference in a team match.
You know, it's quite interesting, that view we've got downrange, those feather flags behind the targets, there's a lot of movement there, and that's not really quite normal, I'd say, for most archers. Usually we have a solid wall behind, especially in these finals matches. So I wonder if he's over-aiming off or something, and you can see a bit of movement on those feather flags, and it's just not really there in reality.
Interesting point that they are in a stadium, of course, which can create some eddies, some swirling wind patterns. I've said it before, so we'll get another 10 from Jacob Wookie. Archers don't mind wind, they just want it to be consistent. So on for a 56. Well, they get a 54, but it's enough to take the set points. 54 plays 51, and the USA really showing what they're made of. It's a surprise at this stage the USA aren't already qualified for Tokyo. It's hard luck for Spain, who have been the form team of the season, to meet them here in the quarterfinals, but they're 4 set points to 0 up. And the way things are going for Alvarino, he's really in that second set dropped the ball a little bit.
He has, yeah, 2 arrows wide out to the left, you know, a 6 and a 7, I think it was, 7-8 liner. So, you know, he's got to pick himself up now. It is a set system. You know, we're back to a blank score again now. So, you know, if Spain can take the next set, they're back in the game. So they've really got to get their heads together as a team and get him, you know, back into the 10 where we know he can be.
Yeah, tough call though for this team. They're retrieving the arrows at the moment. Nikki, Jacob Wookie is 35 years old. He got a team silver in London 2012. And then, what, did he retire, or has he taken a vacation and been asked to come back? Or what's the story?
I think he took a bit of a break for a while after the Olympics and has come back over time. So, you know, America's depth is crazy. There's so many good archers. So he's really had to fight for his spot to come back onto the team.
Yeah, he certainly has, but he's solid and so far has played the game, just dropping a single point through the first 2 sets. It's a commanding lead for the USA, but Spain are still a strong team. Can they come back in this 3rd set? Well, they absolutely need to. Over to you, Miguel Alvarino.
That's not a bad opening, is it, right there? You know, they've put a bit of pressure on the Americas.
It's absolutely what Spain needed. Brady Ellison, 5 times Hyundai Archery World Cup Finals champion, pops it into the 9. Glimmer of hope, perhaps. Jack Williams having to reset there.
Yeah, his arrow might have just fallen off the rest or something, so just started again, plenty of time.
9.
So 28 plays 29. This time it's Spain with the halfway stage lead. What they need to do now, Nikki, is pop 3 10s in and put this one to bed.
That would be the ideal scenario.
For Spain and Spanish fans, of course. There is the first one. Can they keep their nerve? This is, well, I don't really want to call it critical, but it is. It's the critical arrow for the Spanish team. Drifting left in the second set. Daniel Castro. Oh. I wonder what was going through that man's head. Quick arrow from the Archer out into the 8. Now, that is a 57. 3 10s from the USA now, and it's good night, Spain. In fact, I can afford to drop 1 point, but look at that, that's a 6.
It looked like the arrow just came off the arrow rest or something. Something odd happened as he released there. I just wonder if it just flicked off the arrow rest. I'd love to see a replay of that.
Well, as you can probably gather, this one has drifted away from the USA. They'll still lead by 2 set points. Jack Williams finishing with a 10. But that stray arrow from, of all people, Brady Ellison into the 6 has afforded Spain the, well, ease to the set points, their first set points of the match, and it is 4-2 to the USA. Nikki, what else could have happened there? You mentioned perhaps Ellison's arrow slipping off the rest.
Yeah, it looked to me like there's some kind of movement of the arrow just before it left. I might be wrong, but I just sort of saw that as it went. But, you know, it could be caused by the, you know, the fingers on the string. So we have one finger above the arrow, 2 fingers below the arrow, and whether something just changed, the pressure, it was enough just to squeeze the arrow and just knock it off the arrow rest. That's what looked like could have happened to me. So, you know, obviously, you know, he kind of got away with it because I didn't actually think it might have hit the target when it left the bow. But it was enough to hit the target, but obviously it was enough to lose them that set.
Yeah, and I mean, if we have a look at that stage, they were potentially on for a 58 to Spain's 57. They did drop a point through Jacob Wookie, so it would have had to be in 10 for Ellison for that to change. So actually the damage perhaps quite limited there. And you know, if it was an obvious slip of an arrow or something like that, then at least they know what the issue is and they can try to fix it going into the 4th and final set. But as things stand, Spain have got back into this match. They trail by 4 set points to 2. That was Ellison's first arrow. It's the second one we want to see, isn't it, Nikki?
I'd love to see that again, yeah, just to see if we can see any movement.
Unfortunately, we're not going to get a replay of it, but we are going to go to set number 4 here. Absolutely critical for Alvarino, Castro and Acha to score both set points here and take this one into a tiebreak. A good start. Those first 3 arrows, absolutely critical for Spain.
Curious start there from Spain. 1 left, 1 right. we see a little bit of wind going on. I can see some t-shirts and hair flapping about a little bit at this end. And like I said before, I wonder, the archers looking at this wall of feather flags behind the targets, how much influence that's having on where they're aiming. Normal service resumed from Brady. Wookie almost doesn't finish those shots, does he? Straight off the line, letting his teammate get on as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you sense USA smelling blood here. A 29 through the first 3 arrows puts them ahead at the halfway stage of this 4th set. Miguel Alvarino et al. Have got a big task here.
9.
Just a little bit of blustery wind there, but a 53 for Pablo Acha, or a 10 for Pablo Acha, finishes Spain on a 53. Ellison has hit 2 10s in the 4th set here, making up for the dropped 6 in set number 3. Straight off the line again there, Nikki.
So quick, just finish your shot. You must have time to follow through, surely.
On for 59 with a 10 and a place in the semi-finals. And yes, there it is indeed, Mr. Brady Ellison. You heard shouting in the background. A 6-2 win for the USA. We said it was a surprise that USA aren't already qualified for the Tokyo Olympic Games, but they've kept their dream alive and they go into the semi-finals here at the final Olympic qualifier in Paris. I mean, it's super hard luck for Spain to have drawn the USA, but USA have booked the spot in Tokyo, or certainly they've kept that chance alive. Jacob Wookie, Brady Ellison and Jack Williams through to the semi-finals. Nikki, I do feel for Spain. Daniel Castro, Pablo Acha, Miguel Alvarino have had a cracking season.
They really have. Gold at the first World Cup this year, silver in the second as a team. They've really been on form, and they didn't shoot badly in that match. USA are just phenomenal. They always are. You've always got to expect absolute quality when you're up against them, and there just wasn't enough from Spain on the day.
No, it wasn't enough from Spain on the day, and they will walk away from this competition, I'm sure, scratching their heads and wondering a little bit about what went wrong. And I think the only thing that you can say is they were unlucky to draw the USA. USA through to the semi-finals as we motor on halfway through the quarterfinals here in Paris. 2 more matches to come. Next up, it's Italy versus Indonesia. Nikki, how much do you know about these 2 teams?
Well, we've got, Nespoli in the Italian team, who has been around for a long time. He's a fantastic archer, lots of experience, and with 2 younger teammates here. So I would probably put them as the favourite, but as we know here, anything can happen.
Yeah, it certainly can. As we take a look back at Brady Ellison's 6, which was the one that flew astray in the third set there. We were asking to have a look at what was going on. You could see how curious Ellison was about what had happened there. But Jack Williams anchored the team brilliantly against the form team of the season, Spain, in the quarterfinals. And Jacob Wookie, the 35-year-old, making his comeback, perhaps just in the nick of time for the USA as they bid for qualification here in Paris. High fives all around.